Sports.
Comparatively speaking, it was perhaps Matt Garza's best pitching performance of the year, propelling the Rays to victory last night. Today, Jeff Neiman tries to cap off the first half in grand style. It's the Rays' first half finale right now on Sun Sports. It's a kids' Sunday here at Tropicana Field. The crowd continues to gather. David Price bobbleheads distributed as the youngsters enter the ballpark. This will be the wrap-up game of this series, the final game of the homestand, as the Tampa Bay Rays meet the Cleveland Indians. And a peek into the American League East standings finds the Rays now 2 games back of the New York Yankees. Rays running second with Boston third, 5 games back. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an afternoon of Rays baseball with Kevin Kennedy. I'm Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. We'll be hearing from Todd Callis in just a few moments as well. Well, this is it. 1 game for the Rays left before the All-Star break, and with the break and the mythical first half about to end, time for Kevin Kennedy's report card.
Yeah, you know, it's tough because you want to say A's across the board, but let's face it, there has been some inconsistency starting with the offense. Now, Carl Crawford and Evan Longoria, they've been A's across the board. They're hitting 2 and 3 for most of the year now, especially when Evan got moved into that 3 spot. But there have been inconsistencies throughout the order, and I got to believe, you know, the players would agree with that. Some nice surprises definitely in Sean Rodriguez and John Jaso, but guys like B.J. Upton and Jason Bartlett have to be the players in the second half that they can be, and we know they're capable of being. And I think if they are, you're going to see a different offense at the end of the year. Of course, Carlos Pena has gotten hot lately. Defensively, forget about it. A's across the board. Everybody out there. Carl Crawford, a Gold Glove caliber left fielder, no question about that. Some nice plays by Jason Bartlett and Reed Braniak, or whoever plays shortstop. And up the middle, I think Sean Rodriguez has been maybe one of the most surprising, impressive defensive players, how well he can play second base. Zobrist is closing the gap constantly. Evan Longoria is a Gold Glover. Carlos Pena a Gold Glover. So the defense, A's across the board. That has really helped the starting pitching overall and the bullpen as well. Across the board, I got to say B, because David Price and Jeff Neiman should be all-stars. David, of course, should be starting that game on Tuesday. But I think there have been some inconsistencies after a great month of April for all the starters. Here in the last 6 or 7 starts with some of them. Now, Garza came back and did great yesterday. I think by the end of the season, this starting rotation could be the tops in Major League Baseball overall. The bullpen for me, a straight A, no question about it. Benoit in the setup role, really taking over for J.P. Howell with his injury, and then Soriano at the end. Balfour should not go unnoticed. The ERA has been in the low 2s and throwing more breaking stuff to go with that 94, 95 fastball. Randy Choate's been the sole lefty down there doing the job. Dan Wheeler's gotten the job done overall. Andy Sinesign and Lance Cormier combined with all the bullpen guys down there. So they've done a good job all the way across the board. An A, and it led by Soriano at the end. That lights out, put out guy who it's the best save percentage in baseball the Rays have at 87% as far as closing out games. Yeah, the good news about all of that, Joe Madden was saying today before the game, what really keeps you in the race? Good defense, good pitching. Well, they've passed your class in the first half, Kevin, in that regard. You figure the offense will come alive as well. It's going to be better. The Rays have 74 games left in the second half after today. 20 of those against the Yankees and the Red Sox combined. Their fate will be in their own hands. When we come back, Carlos Pena is starting to get locked in, and Todd Callis will take a closer look.
of our lead up to the Rays and the Indians. It'll be the final game leading into the All-Star break. 4 days off for the Rays after today's game. The Rays would love to be 20 games over 500 at the end of the day. And one of the guys who they're going to count on in the second half to maybe put up even bigger numbers is Carlos Pena. We've seen some great signs out of Pena as of late. We caught up with Derek Shelton before this series started and asked him about, how teams are shifting Carlos. It's obviously hurt his average and what he's looking for out of the Rays first baseman.
And I think in this last road trip, he had 5 balls hard into the shift. There's nothing we can do about that. He hits a one-hop line drive that, the second baseman catches in right field or the shortstop catches back through the middle. I consider that a good at-bat. I consider that a quality at-bat. So as long as Carlos is driving in runs, he's taking his walks and not, going out of his zones, there's not a major concern for me. And the fact that, the other night he hits a one-hop line drive right at Scudero, playing in a position that nobody plays, we can't affect that. We can't concern ourselves with that. So as long as he stays within his approach and takes his walks and does things like that, I think that's fine.
So as we look at the Toyota trend, we will see Carlos Pena has used the whole field so far in this homestand. A couple of hits to right, a home run to center, a home run to left field. And Pena has really shown some great signs as of late. Hopefully that'll carry over into the second half. He is my pick for Ray of the day, so hopefully he'll follow through with a big game to wrap up this homestand. Rays looking to get to 20 games over 500 heading into the All-Star break. We are ready for baseball. Indians, Rays, in high definition. Enjoy all the action with Dwayne Stats and Kevin Kennedy right here on Sun Sports.
This afternoon, the Rays take on the Cleveland Indians, and today's Rays broadcast on Sun Sports is presented in beautiful HD by H.H. Gregg. Cleveland lineup this afternoon put together by Manny Acta. Michael Brantley leads it off, followed by Jason Nix, and Carlos Santana is the DH today with Austin Kearns in right, and Matt Laporta at first up in the 5 spot. Third base, Andy Marte. Trevor Crow's in left, the switch hitting speedy outfielder. Doing the catching, hitting 8th is Chris Jimenez. And Anderson Hernandez is the shortstop. He'll bat 9th.
Jeff Neiman comes in with the 4th best ERA at 2.65 in the American League in 17 starts. 1 complete game, 7-2 record. Pounding the strike zone, 2.16 batting average against. Jeff Neiman definitely is all-star worthy, no doubt about it.
And he's all set to go to work here as Michael Brantley, the center fielder, steps in. And the first pitch of this game is a strike call. We're underway right on time at 1:40, 72 comfortable degrees inside Tropicana Field. It's upstairs and it's 1-1. Scott Berry calling the balls and strikes. Young umpire out of Michigan.
Get our scouting book out.
And the pitch is a strike on the outer part of the plate. 1-2.
He's an aggressive, quick strike caller. We like that.
Yep.
Good pitch on the outside corner.
And if that happens, Neiman will set a pretty good pace. And Masterson, who's pitching for Cleveland today, likes to set a pretty rapid pace as well. So we'll see what happens. The ground ball to second. Sean Rodriguez right in front of it. That'll take care of Brantley. 4-3.
Good curveball right there. Let's take a look at the Rays defensively. In the outfield, it's Matt Joyce in left once again. DJ up in center, and Ben Zobrist right. Third base, Evan Longoria. Shortstop, Reed Brignac. You just saw Sean Rodriguez at second, and Carlos Pena at first base, and John Jaso behind the plate for Jeff Neiman.
And there's a look at the Rays skipper, Joe Madden. The Rays 5 games over 500 at home now. It's a move in the right direction. They've been outstanding on the road. And the first pitch hits Jason Nix. Fastball up and in a little bit. So Nix hits to first base.
Just got away from Jeff. Fastball. Actually, he wasn't even trying to go inside. He was trying to go away. You can see the movement. Nowhere for Jason Nix to go.
Well, the Indians have a base runner, and Carlos Santana. He's getting a little break from catching. It's the DH. I tell you, the Indians came in here from a series against the Rangers in Texas, and we all know how hot it can be in Arlington, Texas. Santana caught those games, came right in here, and caught the first 3 games of this series, and so for him, being the DH really is like a day of rest on this Sunday.
Yeah, it is, and a nice break for guys that are DHing today with, for most players, a few days off.
Looking young hitter, Santana, switch hitter. He's been better from the left side, and he pulls this one back toward the corner. That's going to one-hop the fence. Zobrist will play the carom. Nix will be held at third on the double by Santana. And now it's a second and third one-out situation as the Indians put up an early threat.
Yeah, I think Cleveland has a special young talent right here in Carlos Santana. This is a fastball up and out over the plate. Look at that extension and explosion from Carlos. And a nice job by Ben Zobrist to take the carom and get it back in to keep Nix from scoring.
Two men in scoring position with only one out, and here's Austin Kearns. Kearns had a double last night, and 2 hits the night before, and a base hit in the first game of this series. And the pitch just a little outside. A breaking ball, 1-0.
Here's the break on that spike curveball right there. 13-inch.
Perfect pitch, too.
Yeah, it was a good pitch. Wow.
Another foul ball back. Fastball, 1-1. I mean, that's the kind of pitch with that breaking ball, especially. But any pitch out there in that location is exactly where a pitcher would love to live all the time.
All the time. Exactly right.
You'd just like to get a call to strike.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jeff would like a strikeout. The Rays will give up a run. Infield is back except for Pena wide of first.
The fastball misses in. 2 balls and a strike.
You know, he's got a little margin for error here too because the base is open and he can get, and Kearns will chase. He likes to jump on any fastball he sees. So another good count for that curveball again.
Ball 3. The breaking ball stayed up and in a little bit.
Yeah, didn't finish as well on that pitch.
Jeff's coming off 6 innings against Boston 5 days ago. He got a 3-2 win, and that one made 107 pitches. And a base hit headed up the middle off a fastball. Nix will score. Santana heads to the plate. The throw comes all the way through, and Kearns moves into second as Cleveland takes a 2-0 lead. A base hit for Kearns, and with Upton making the throw all the way through, Kearns moves to second on the throw.
Yeah, fastball 3-1. I thought 3-1 after the curveball. He might throw him a split or a changeup, something off speed, and if he walks him, so be it. You got a double play man at the plate, but Kearns gets the fastball. BJ gets it over the head of Carlos Pena. If you're going to try to come home, you at least have to get through the cutoff man so you can get the out at second base. And Kearns never stopped running, and he's in scoring position.
Here's Matt Laporta with a man on second, and he shoots the first pitch headed toward the left field corner. Kearns will score. Laporta heads to second with a double, and the Indians jump to a 3-0 lead. And that's one of the reasons you want to keep that guy at first base. There's a chance that otherwise Kearns would have stayed at third on this double by Laporta.
Yeah, Jeff is up here early, so it's going to get a visit from Jim Hickey. Well, that's exactly right, because that double would not have scored Austin Kearns. He would have been stopped at third base. So Jeff having trouble with fastball command here early, and that has not been a problem all season long. Especially for a guy with an ERA at 2.65, fourth in the American League, and the Indians have 3 on the board already.
So Hickey completes his visit. And Nix was hit on a fastball that missed, that got away, and Santana on a fastball up. Kearns single on the fastball to center, and then Laporta jumped on the first pitch and shot it into the left field corner. Here's Andy Marte. Pitch is low, 1 ball, no strikes. Runs, a hit batter, 3 hits as well. Upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes.
A couple of sliders. That one was up also. Didn't finish.
Swing by Marte. 2-1.
You know, Marte was a guy when he came up with the Braves. This guy was supposed to be their #1 prospect, third base prospect. Bounced around a little bit, landed in Cleveland. He's never really produced in the big leagues when he's gotten his chances.
2-2. Out front right there.
We did see him hit a 2-0 fastball for the home run the other night.
He takes the pitch down, and the count will go full.
A couple of splits. Jeff Neiman.
And strike 3 call, a fastball on the outside. outside corner. Big strikeout for Neiman for the second out.
Well, too close to take. Let's take a look from the center field shot. Wow, that is just paint. Right over the outside corner, just off it from the overhead shot, but that's too close to take. Got to use the old, we'll probably use this about a dozen more times this year, the old Adrian Gonzalez theory.
That's it. Yeah.
Foul it off, try to get another pitch.
Especially in those situations with the guy in scoring position.
Yeah. Those are reachable pitches.
You're in there to drive in runs.
Right.
Middle of the order. Trevor Crow fouls one into the seats just back of the dugout.
If you asked Vladdy Guerrero to make sure it's a strike, the other guy'd be a 240 hitter.
Oh, absolutely. You think about those really outstanding run producers. They're going to expand the strike zone.
They expand their own zone a little bit, absolutely. Because they know they're going to be pitched tough anyway.
One and one.
So far, looking at Scott Berry, he's got a pretty wide zone. If you show you can hit those corners.
Crow hitting just 244 overall, but he's been good with it in scoring position. And he bounces this one to Brignac at short, who throws on the run to get the speedy Crow. So the damage is limited to the 3. Rays coming in to hit. They need some runs, down 3-0. Bottom of the first inning. Take a quick look at the Rays lineup. Ben Zobrist, Carl Crawford, and Evan Longoria, 1-2-3, followed by Carlos Pena. Matt Joyce is in left today with Crawford DHing. John Jaso hit 6th. Upton 7th with Reed Brignac 6th. And Sean Rodriguez at 2nd hits 9th.
The 25-year-old righty on the mound. It's Justin Masterson, 17 starts, 3-8 record, 5.22 earned run average, 288 batting average against. And left-handers hitting 324 off him.
And the first pitch to Ben Zobrist is in there for a strike.
There you go.
So Ben starting the day at 284. One and one.
380 on base percentage. Ben's been drawing awful lot of walks this week. He's working to count well in that leadoff spot.
Yeah, it seems as if every time he leads off, he's up there 3-2, at least a couple of at bats. And especially in that first at bat, he manages to see a lot of pitches, which is what you want a leadoff hitter to do.
That's right.
Ground ball, backhanded, nice play by Laporta. Masterson covers, And they take a base hit away from Zobrist right there.
Yeah, it was a nice play by Matt LaPorta. They had base hit all over. Take a look at the Indians defensively. Trevor Crow in left, Michael Brantley in center, and Austin Kearns in right around the infield. Left to right, Andy Marte, Anderson Hernandez, Jason Nix, and Matt LaPorta. Chris Jimenez behind the plate. Got to get that name correct, right, Dwayne?
Yeah, well, and for good reason. As we'll get into later on. Here's Carl Crawford. The pitch is outside. Why not do it now? He's their catcher started as an infielder. He's from Gilroy, California, which we're proud to say is the garlic capital of the world.
It's good for you, too. Good for your stomach.
The chopper headed up the middle and a base hit for Crawford. So Carl is aboard. That's hit number 105 on the year for Crawford.
Man, what a first half for Carl Crawford, coming in at 320 with the batting average. Good balance, good explosion. Bouncing up the middle. Once Nix had to go to his right, there was no chance anyway. He would not have been able to throw Carl Crawford out had he had gotten to the ball.
Here's Evan Longoria. Evan at 294 for the year. Fouls it back. Strike one. The righty-lefty breakout on Masterson is interesting. Because you see him drop down a little bit, which could make him tougher on right-handers. They're hitting 250 against him, and left-handed batters hitting 324.
Right, that's right.
Off Masterson.
Yeah, he's got long limbs, long arm action, too. Deceptive for right-handed hitters.
One ball, one strike.
Only when they play.
Masterson was part of the Victor Martinez deal. And Martinez went to the Red Sox. Ball, two strikes. The two guys in the Rays lineup to have success against Masterson would be Pena and Upton. They're each 4 for 9 off him. Crawford's at first with a base hit, one out. And this one's skipping away from Jimenez, and down to second base goes Crawford. Runs the count to 2-2.
Take a look. Looked like a slider. Yeah, slider in the dirt.
That's the 7th wild pitch charged to Masterson this year. He's also hit 8 batters. That gives you a little idea of what the challenge has been for him.
Yeah, it's tough with that long arm action, the way he releases the ball to repeat your arm slot.
Ball 3, full count. See another 3-2 pitch after the fastball was fouled away.
One thing he does have, though, is a lot of movement. If he can command it, he'd be really tough.
Longoria fouls this one.
Hey, what? Evans fouling off some tough pitches, too. Stay alive.
No, Evan coming in 2 of 11 against Masterson. But he's hit a home run against him. In fact, one of the home runs Pena hit off him was a back-to-back situation when Longoria and Pena got him when he was a member of the Red Sox, and that would have been in May of '09. A little tap to third, tough play. Throw to first, safe there, and over to third goes Crawford. Marte decided to try to make a play on Longoria when he really had no play, and that gives Crawford a chance to move up.
Nice read by Carl Crawford, too. Exactly right. Take a look at Evan right here. At first realizes, hey, it's going to be a fair ball. That's a good swing and bunt right there. And once Marte left his position, which he really had to, Carl was going to take third. Take a look. Carl's reading it. But he's also waiting for the throw. And once he makes the throw, because you see Anderson Hernandez, the shortstop, get to the bag trailing Carl Crawford. But either way, Carl would have probably got to third base.
And so it will get Carlos Pena up here in the first with 2 men on and 1 out. Waves and misses. Pena 4 for 9 against Masterson, and all 4 of those hits for extra bases, 2 home runs and 2 doubles.
Against Masterson now, defensively, they don't have a dramatic shift on. Take a look around the infield there. Anderson Hernandez up the middle, but on the shortstop side.
Two. A ball, 2 strikes. Close take right there.
That was a tough pitch to take, too. Take a look, Carlos. Wow, nice job by Jimenez holding it right there. They don't get the call.
And that pitch away. Jimenez set up out there, and it stayed wide. It's 2-2. Crawford's at third. Longoria's at first. And there's ball 3. Shot for the fastball.
I tell you, we talked about Carlos a lot this week. He has been getting his strike zone more narrow.
Well, a couple of these pitches in this at bat are the kinds of pitches that he takes and takes them for balls. They're very close pitches. And a ground ball, backhanded stop by Masterson. Now Crawford is caught. Crawford to Marte. Marte runs him to the plate. He bobbles it, and Crawford is safe. Crawford scores on a sure out. The Rays get a run, and the runners wind up at second and third. How about that? Crawford started that play exactly the way you want a base runner to start it.
That's exactly right, because if he doesn't break, it's a double play ball. The pitcher will go to second. For sure, but he said, well, you know what? I'm not sure they could turn a double play. He picks it anyway. Looks right at Crawford. And Carl stayed in a rundown. Look at how quick he is. Boy, he starts quick. And Marte short hops his catcher, and by that time, Carl gets around him. What a great play.
What an exhibition right there of speed, quickness, and making the right decision.
Now, that ball gotten past Masterson, that's an easy double play, too, by the way. Because we saw Hernandez right up the middle. He would have been able to step on the bag himself and double him up.
Boy, that was really something. Technically a fielder's choice. There's going to be an error on the throw by Marte. But that was really something to behold as Crawford scores the Rays' first run. And now here's Matt Joyce. Pitch is inside. You're right about the double play. I mean, Masterson made a great backhanded stop.
He did.
But if it goes through, it's a double play.
Yeah, it's a double play either way. He almost knocked it away. And he got lucky with that backhanded stop. And then I think what wheeled him around, he actually looked at Crawford. If he would have thought about going to second, he still would have been able to turn 2.
And there's a pitch down. 2-0.
So what was Marte, about 3 feet from Crawford, and Crawford just took off?
Yeah.
It's like the Roadrunner.
Exactly. He just put it in another gear and left him behind and really forced a bad throw from Marte.
He just blew away from him.
Bobbled it.
In a split second.
Foul ball, 2-1.
Yeah, contact is of the essence here on the ground, not in the air unless it's a long one. Because they're going to give you a second run, and you want to cut this run differential in half right now. Come back with at least 2. You get the base hit, great, but you don't have to hit the ball in the air here.
And it's second and third with 1 out, a run home.
As a hitter, you should really be trying to stay on top of this. I mean, you like to get a base hit, but you want to make sure you make good contact and not get that long loopy swing where you pop it up.
Wow. 2-2.
Come on, we need to drive a run in.
He was trying to lift right there. Now you got to really adjust and make sure you make contact. Took a shot at hitting a long one right there, 2-1. Now at 2 strikes, you got to shorten up.
And there's the ball down and in, blocked by Jimenez. So the count goes full. Acta looking on. These are moments when you're managing a young club trying to develop a team for a manager that can be frustrating because you know that your team should be off the field right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of the growing pains. Well, as Manny Acta has said, I've been through this for 4 years now.
Yep. Washington.
Yep.
Now with the Indians. And ball 4. Loads the bases. George draws his 10th walk. The bases are loaded for John Jaso. And Belcher, the pitching coach, trots to the mound. So the Rays saw the Indians put 3 up in the first. Now they have a chance to do some significant damage in the bottom of the inning. Just a reminder, you can guarantee yourself postseason ticket opportunities and other great benefits with Rays season tickets. Visit RaysBaseball.com or call 888-FAN-RAYS. Rays starting the day with a record of 53-34, 2 games back of New York. The high water mark for the Rays this year in terms of games over 520. That was back at the beginning of interleague play when they won a series in Houston and went 20 games over. They're 19 over right now. And here is John Jaso. Pitch outside. Jaso has consistently put together good at-bats for the Rays.
Yeah, pretty nice first half for John. A pleasant surprise. Hitting .275 coming in with 3 home runs, 29 RBIs, but it's the on-base percentage. More walks and strikeouts.
Takes a strike. 1-1. Longoria at third. Pena's on second. Joyce at first. And a ground ball down to third. Marte to Nix one. Over to first. One hopped and dug out by Laporta, and the Indians get the double play on a check swing ground ball. So the Rays settled for the run scored by Crawford and trailed 3-1. And in our M. Scott replay, another look at that play, allowing the Rays to score their only run.
Cookie got away from Andy Marte. And then stopped and darts around the catcher, Jimenez.
So Carl, who is the DH today, has a run scored. The Rays trailed by 2. We head into the second inning, and it will be the catcher, Chris Jimenez, to lead it off for Cleveland. Even touched for the 3 runs in the first. He'd given up only 2 earned runs in the first inning in his first 17 starts. And they got him for 3. The first pitch is a ball. The fastball misses. Hernandez next, and then Brantley. 1-1. One ball, 2 strikes.
Good sink there.
Number 2. 1 away in the second.
There's the split grip right there you saw in the glove. Good pitch. Plenty of the plate. Good arm speed. Here's the vertical break on it right here. About 7 inches.
Well, here's Anderson Hernandez. Pitch is high. 1 ball and no strikes. Kevin, I know that Brian Anderson has been popular. You know, he's a popular guy. And
of course.
I mean, there are all of these guys named Brian Anderson besides just our own VA. You know, there's Brian Anderson, the play-by-play guy, and there are a couple of players named Brian Anderson. In fact, there's a pitcher who's converting himself into an outfielder who's converting himself into a pitcher, and I think it's because he wants to emulate Brian Anderson.
Probably
Our Brian Anderson. He's a right-hander, and the next thing we know, he'll be a left-hander. And now apparently they're naming shortstops after him, and Anderson Hernandez.
Well, I was going to say, I think that's the reason. Of course, Brian, you know, pitched in Cleveland. I know Anderson Hernandez didn't start there, but that was his dream to become an Indian.
Yeah, and he named Anderson.
That
is fair, just inside the left field line. Joyce will play the carom off the sidewall. And Anderson Hernandez has his third double of the year. This one comes with one out in the second.
In contact mode right here. It's a spike curveball that's up. See how high up it is? He just slaps it. All those pitches were up, as a matter of fact, in the same spot. He just drops it fair down the line for 2.
So 4 hits the first time through the lineup, 3 for extra bases.
Now Jeff's up more with his stuff than we're used to seeing.
Michael Brantley. Throws him a breaking ball, and it's in there for a strike. The one thing about Neiman, he will continue to be workmanlike in his approach to every start, and he's had so many good ones, and struggling a little bit with location of his pitches in this game, but he's not going to come out of where he is mentally.
Yeah, he's still going to
battles his way through.
He's not just going to start throwing 5-6 fastballs in a row. He's still going to pitch the sequences depending on the situation. Some drop a curveball, then an off-speed pitch there to a slider to Brantley.
He misses with a fastball upstairs. It's 2-1. This is his third career start against Cleveland. He's 0-1. Had a combined 9 innings of work in the 2 starts against them, allowing 4 earned runs. High fly ball back into left, and Joyce is there to make the catch. 2 gone, and holding at second is Anderson Hernandez. So with 2 outs and a man still in scoring position, Neiman will face Jason Nix, the second baseman. He was hit by a pitch, and that started the trouble. Claimed by the Indians on waivers from the White Sox, and has hit up a storm with Cleveland. One hopper to second. Rodriguez shading him up the middle, makes the play. Indians leave a man. Bottom of the second coming. 3-1 Cleveland. Canada Field today brought to you by Toyota. Moving forward. Buddy's Home Furnishings, where there's no credit needed and up to 6 months, same as cash. And by Amscott, the Money Superstore. B.J. Upton Goes after the first pitch and lifts the fly ball into right, caught by Kearns. Upton is retired. Reed Brignac.
After a 28-pitch first inning, that helps Justin Masterson out. Really scuffled for command in the first.
The Rays got a run. Double play ball got Masterson out of that spot. Reed Brignac gets his first look at the right-hander. Reed hitting .266 right now. Ball, no strikes to count. Two and 0.
Reed just got to get back to that good line drive stroke he had early in the season.
Yeah, he had that in spring training and carried it right into the first couple of months of the season. And the last couple of weeks, we've seen the recurrence of that big uppercut. Puts the ball on the ground. Nix at second. 2 outs, fly ball and a ground out. In the game today and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation for every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports and Fox Sports Florida. Sean Rodriguez. Sitting .271. Pitch is outside, 1-0. Sean started to get a few more at-bats and starts from the end of May to this point here, closing in on the middle of July. He's been a consistent force offensively and just outstanding defensively. The offensive side of his game has really gone up a notch. There's a bunt that kind of jammed him, and he bunts it back to the mound. And so Masterson throws him out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. 3-1 Cleveland.
Sunday, we want to send our best out to a couple of fixtures here at Tropicana Field. First of all, Tommy Gilbert, he's normally up here in the press box. He works with the Lightning extensively, and he's around Tropicana Field all the time working for the Rays. He's had some recent issues where he was hospitalized. I understand he's out of the hospital now. Tommy, we can't wait to see you back in the press box. And also our buddy Murph, Brian Hemsley, who is he's the manager of the great security detail here at Tropicana Field. He's had a health scare the last couple of days. He's been away. All the guys in the light blue shirts, all the security guys say, Murph, we got you back. Everything's running smoothly. So we look forward to seeing those guys after the All-Star break. Murph and Tommy Gilbert get better. Guys?
Yeah, absolutely. And we echo that. Two of the great guys around here. And you're right. Tommy spends time here a lot, works for the Lightning, and both just positive forces. And so we send our very best to them and look for them to be right back here after the All-Star break. Carlos Santana, 2 strikes the count to him. Fouls the fastball back. You know, you're right about Santana, Kevin. There's just guys you see, and yeah, this guy's going to be pretty good.
He's a hitter. Yeah, he just exudes confidence.
Yeah.
Now, Neiman had a nice sequence here to start here the first 3 pitches. He starts him with a split, strike, curveball strike, and goes inside, fouls it off.
And he got him at about in front right there. James speeds on him and strikes him out.
But see, that's what you were talking about with Jeff. He's still going to pitch. He recognized, you know what? This kid crushed my fastball in the first inning. Let's see if he can hit the split with 2 strikes here. What a great pitch. 7-inch break right there. But that's smart. Split, curve, fastball in, tie him up a little bit, come back with a split for the strikeout.
Kearns, the pitch is a strike. And really, the Rays have had great pitching. Their team ERA has been the best in the league.
Yeah.
The bullpen's been solid. The starting pitching really overall has been very good. They hit a couple little bumps, but every great rotation does that. And the pitching's been so good. A great effort by Rodriguez, but the ball gets through a base hit up the middle, and Kearns is 2 for 2. And there's a lot of talent in this rotation, but I really think if you have a son who's a pitcher and you want him to learn about pitching, you've got to come to see Neiman pitch, because he's the guy who I think, as much as anybody on this staff, uses all of the elements that he has and uses them wisely.
Yeah, he's a very smart pitcher. He understands the sequences that you have to throw in a game, in the situations.
Laporta pops one into short center, and Sean Rodriguez is out there to make the catch. Sean made that in routine fashion, not the easiest play, but he just got out there and really put it in his hip pocket.
Look how far out there he went. Now,
Yep.
BJ with the runner at first had to play a little deeper. Laporta does have a lot of power. So I don't know if BJ would have got to it or not, but Sean was already going out there to call it. It would have been close. Yeah, I think BJ probably would have been a tougher play for BJ, but Sean kind of waved him off, said he had it all the way. He gets a good read off the bat. Gets a good jump.
Andy Marte. Breaking ball away from him, 1-0. Marte, now 26 years old.
Yeah, how long are you a prospect?
Yeah, and that's the thing about him. You're right about the Braves. I mean, he was the one guy that you heard about all the time.
Yeah, Bobby Cox loved him. Not enough not to trade him, but he loved him.
Yep, that's right. Well,
but he had a lot of upside, a lot of value.
And a line drive caught by Longoria, and that retires the side. Bottom of the 3rd inning coming. 3-1, Tampa Bay trails. starters here in the first half, and they got a solid B.
Yeah, you could have said, hey, the first month everybody gets an A, and then there were a couple of key guys that had a rough time for 7 or 8 starts, believe it or not. And so overall, I think B, because you always want room for improvement as the season goes on, and I think all the guys we saw, Matt Garza really turn yesterday, his best start of the year for me.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
And, James Shields will turn it here in the second half. And Wade Davis, we saw him in his last start have a nice start. So David Price, of course, the All-Star, should be the All-Star starter, and Neiman have been the most consistent from start 1 through 17.
And the Rays, for the first time in the history of the franchise, have 2 10-game winners at the All-Star break. Price with 12, and Garza now with 10.
I was listening to Matt in the postgame the other day on radio, and he was really pretty humble about what he needs to do in the second half. He was talking about yesterday's start and said, if I had done things like this, I got to keep working. Who knows? I might have had 14 wins the first half.
Yeah. I just thought last night he was very impressive.
Yeah.
Zobrist hits it on the ground to first. Laporta with a toss to Masterson.
I just thought with that kind of humble talk in the postgame, he knows what the upside can be for him if he can repeat what he did last night with his control. Not always going to throw a one-hitter, but with your emotions and your control. And you and I both talked about his repeatable delivery. I mean, just very fluid. And he threw 75% strikes and about 90% fastball.
Yeah,
almost.
He made great use of his fastball last night. 88 pitches, 69 fastballs.
He was also talking about what a great job Kelly Shopik did in staying with the fastball.
Yeah, and Shopik is a believer in that. If he has a pitcher who's working on the mound who has that great fastball, and the Rays have a couple of those guys, Garza's one of them, and so he says, hey, if they're not hitting that fastball, they'll let you know soon enough, and
that's right.
We'll make an adjustment.
Well, and if you show you have command of it, like when David did pitch his last start, he had impeccable. He's not only throwing 95 to 97, he was painting the outside corner.
2-2 down to Crawford. Earl reached on a base hit in the first. David Price coming off his Wednesday outing. Very impressive against the Red Sox.
111 pitches, and about 100 of them were for fastballs. And he was asked about it, and he said, well, I didn't need my other pitches as much. I had command of my fastball.
Crawford on 3-2. Lifts it into center. Brantley is there. 2 gone.
Yeah, this is what David was talking about. He said, well, I didn't need to throw all my secondary pitches because I felt so good with the fastball. He threw a couple of sliders, a couple of curveballs, but about 100 fastballs, both sides of the plate. And I mean, those were on the outside corner and inside corner. He didn't throw it over the wide of home plate very often. Look at his 10 strikeouts.
Longoria. Evan takes the pitch, moving away from him off the plate. 1 ball, no strikes. One and one.
The other part of that you mentioned is Kelly Shopik. That's where a guy defensively being engaged with that, all of a sudden a pitcher will go, well, you know what? I'm going to stay with him then. He believes pound it with the fastball. I'm not going to throw my other stuff until he says so. That's kind of what happened last night with Garza. I heard Matt talk about that. He said there was times I wanted to throw my other pitches, and Kelly kept calling the fastball, so it kind of convinced me, well, okay, I'll be throwing it.
And it's great. But when you have a staff that can develop that kind of relationship with a catcher.
You bet.
This one back, deflecting off Masterson, rolling toward Nix. And Longoria has a base hit, literally a base hit off Masterson.
Now, we talked about deliveries yesterday. Matt Garza got a bullet that he caught yesterday because he finished well. Masterson trying to finish. He turns on that one. You know, not a bad finish for a guy that doesn't have great command, but Evan just gets him. It looked like the right hip. Instead of trying to glove it, he kind of turns away from it to protect his face and front part of his body, and it gets him in the hip.
Evan 2 for 2. There's Carlos Pena. In this homestand, we started to see some good things from Pena. Takes a first pitch strike. Carlos with a history of success against Masterson.
Well, that first at bat in the first inning, he hit a bullet. 3-2 count right back up the middle, and he took some close pitches, but he put it in play and it created a run.
And a ground ball, this time picked up by Hernandez out of the shift. The shortstop throws him out from the second base position. We're through 3-1 Cleveland. Day. Trey Starter has the best record at home since the beginning of 2009. Trevor Crowe to lead off the fourth. Jeff Neiman on the hill for the Rays, and the pitch is inside. 1-0. Crowe grounded to the shortstop his first time. One and one. 3 runs, 5 hits off Neiman. Jeff with 3 strikeouts in this game. No walks, but he has hit a man. That led to a run. A ball, 2 strikes.
Good pitch. Fading action to it.
Chop. Neiman grabs it. The toss to first in time. Crowe is out of there. 1 out. Chris Jimenez is on his way to the plate. And just a reminder to be on the lookout for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment coming up later in today's game. Jimenez, the catcher, struck out his first time up. Swing and a miss. Jimenez, as we mentioned earlier, born in Gilroy, California. Frank LaCourte, the former big leaguer, the right-handed pitcher, Frank LaCourte, was not born there but lived there and remains so. Jimenez born there. Jeff Garcia from Gilroy.
That area up there, you know, even on down the coast in California, you've got the garlic capital in Gilroy. You've got the Salinas. Used to be the Mariners A-ball club. That's the lettuce capital.
There you are.
Very healthy region.
Yeah, it's a beautiful region.
It is.
A wave and a miss. Jimenez out on strikes. You've got the Castroville is the artichoke capital.
Jeff's got a good feel for the split today, and he's using it a lot and very effectively with good depth on it. That was 85. Good movement, fading in and down for Jimenez.
I kind of like Stockton. It was the asparagus.
Yeah, Stockton. That was in the Cal League. They're still there. Stockton Ports.
There's a bunt attempt by Hernandez all the way to second. Rodriguez on one hop fields it and throws him out. And so it's a 1-2-3 fourth. Still 3-1 Cleveland. Great to have you with us here on a Kids Sunday at Tropicana Field. The answer to our AT&T Mobility Trivia question: which race starter has the best record in the Trop since the beginning of '09? And the answer, a couple of them there in the running, David Price. You picked David Price. You are right. 14-4 for David Price since the beginning of '09 here at home. Matt Joyce leads off here for the Rays. They need a base runner or two and then somebody to pop one. That's a strike. Joyce walked in the first. Chopped down to first. And Laporta makes that play with a toss to Masterson. Since the start of '09, when you look at the Rays rotation, actually a pretty good run there. Price, Neiman, and Garza coming to the forefront. John Jaso fouls it. It's a strike.
Yeah, I thought Neiman would be up there. We knew he had to be in the running at home here versus David Price. I thought Shields would be a little bit better at home. He has been historically.
Yeah, and this latest run that's been a kind of a tough luck run for him. factors into that equation as well. Ground ball first base. Laporta tosses this one to Masters. Laporta's been busy over there at first base. He made a nice play with the ball hit back in the first by Zobrist. He's moving pretty well around the bag.
Yep, he sure did. He can play some left field, but he is the first baseman now with Russ Branyan off to Seattle. And he's doing a nice job over there since his real recall from AAA. That's a lot of ground balls to the right side with that sinker he's getting. The last 3 lefties have done that. And even Ben Zobrist and Brignac roll to the right side as well.
B.J. Upton takes a pitch down. 1-0. One ball, one strike. 3-5-1 for Cleveland. 1-3-0 for the Rays. Upton sends a fly ball into deep right center field. Kearns on the run, and that ball's going to be off the wall. Upton into second with a stand-up 2-out double. And when Upton is going well, you'll see a lot of power in that direction from him.
Yeah, I thought that had a chance off the bat to get out of here. It's a fastball right down the middle. BJ gets through it. Going to be your checkers double the game. Both outfielders are just kind of looking up. I think they thought it was out. Here's the Sweet Base sign of our sponsors.
Now it's Reed Brignac. So Reed up here with a chance to get a run home. It'll take a 2-out hit to do it. He strokes it up the left side. That slice is foul. Foul play for a strike. Rays left a couple on in the first inning. They left a man on in the third. Now Upton's double, giving them a chance here, picking up a run in the fourth. Rays wrapping up this homestand right into the All-Star break, and after the break they'll hit the road. A 10-day, 9-game road trip. Two strikes the count.
That was a better swing right there. That was a pretty good line drive swing.
There's a line drive and a base hit into center field. Brignac comes through. Upton will score without a play. And the Rays make it a 3-2 ball game. Well, Brignac, an 0-2 pitch, and he takes it right back into center field, driving in the run.
You could see it the pitch before. He fouled straight back. It was a nice line drive swing. He repeated it. Falls up in the zone a little bit, and he gets through it nicely and drops it into center field. Side shot here. Gets right through the ball. Another big 2-out RBI hit. Rays had a few of those yesterday. In fact, all 4 runs yesterday were with 2 outs.
Brignac continues to keep his average over 300 with men in scoring position. Sean Rodriguez.
And for a guy that doesn't play every day, he's got 25 RBIs now. It's pretty good production out of shortstop.
One strike count here to the Rays' second baseman. Down at the count, 0-2.
A slider that apparently bit the outside corner. I think Sean thought it might have been out.
this one. Breaking down and away. That slider, an 0-2 slider. Red Sox jump to a 3-0 lead on the Blue Jays. Darnell McDonald had a 2-run home run, and David Ortiz hit one. Those came back-to-back in the top of the 6th inning to make it 3-0. A 1-2 count to Sean. And a pitch out, nothing doing.
Interesting right there, because Brignac's not one of the guys that runs that often for Joe Madden.
Well, maybe that's just a tribute to Madden's unpredictability.
I think so.
And his thinking outside the box. Strike 3 call. Fastball slipped in there. The Rays are out in the 4th, but they pick up a run on 2 hits. 3-2 Cleveland through 4. By AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. Rays trail by a run as we go to the 5th inning. Now let's go to our host extraordinaire without compare. Here's Todd Cowles.
Wow. I don't know how to follow that, Dwayne. Thank you so much. You know, after our postgame show, we're going to do a little Inside the Rays featuring the starting rotation. And speaking of the rotation, here's a look at where they are. Everybody was hoping to get 5 guys with 200 innings by the end of the year. 4/5 of that rotation in line. The interesting thing, though, if you break down the pitches, you'll see Price, Garza, and Shields all within 2 innings, 3 innings of each other, and within about 20 pitches. Neiman, with less than 1,600 pitches leading into today, he has over 20 more innings now than Wade Davis and fewer pitches. Now, everybody should be okay for the second half. The one guy Joe Madden and Jim Hickey are going to keep a little closer eye on is David Price. Right now, he's averaging almost 110 pitches a start. They'd like to see that number come down closer to 100. Other than that, they said everybody is full bore for the second half, guys.
All right, 1-0 the count to Brantley, and he lifts this one back towards center where Upton is there to make the catch. Brantley is the first out in the 5th inning, and that's why it's so important to keep that pitch count per inning down, and that's something that Neiman has consistently done. As a result, you know, they've all taken their regular turns in the rotation. This rotation has been together and in the same order all year long. The only rotation to do that. Here's Jason Nix. Pitch is a strike.
Well, it's really about what type of innings you're having, and Neiman has been the most efficient, as you said, even well less pitches per inning than any other starter on the staff. Now, on the other side of that, David Price is a strikeout pitcher, and strikeout pitchers are going to have a higher pitch count. He struck out 10 the other night.
Now, Neiman has averaged a little over 14 pitches an inning. The third fewest number of pitches thrown in the American League and the 5th lowest average per inning in the major leagues. 1-2 the count to Nix. I'll tell you, if you can pitch in the American League and limit your pitches to that, and what is, number one, you're going to face an extra hitter in the lineup as opposed to the National League. And you've got the Reds trying to average 5 runs a game in the National League, but you'll have 3 or 4, sometimes 5 teams in the American League that will average 5 runs a game.
And that's the other part of that. And I think what Joe Madden and Jim Hickey would want to limit David, if he can, to around 100 pitches per start is because you're pitching in the American League East, and as the season grinds on into August and September, it gets tougher. Everybody's healthy now, and you want to make sure they're healthy down the stretch.
Breaking ball hit on the ground to third. Longoria takes care of that, and so that'll be the second out here in the 5th inning. Note to the youngsters out there, this summer you can enjoy the magic of baseball and learn how to play the Rays way at Rays baseball camps presented by the St. Petersburg Times. Camps are open to children 6 to 13. Each camper receives tickets to 4 select Rays games and other great gifts. Visit RaysBaseball.com to sign up. Checking out the bullpen there.
How about that? You can just hang with Joaquin Benoit.
Yeah.
Have a nice conversation.
It's a great kids Sunday down there.
It's a good seat down there. What's Bobby Ramos doing? We haven't checked him out lately.
That hat looked like one that Bobby might enjoy.
There he is. He got over that 54-inch steak he ate.
And he's been fasting for the entire homestand.
Ounce steak, I should say. It might have been inches, too.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm a big steak eater. I don't think I could do that.
There wasn't much left.
Not in one sitting. Maybe 3.
And a bunt 2-0, and Santana's going to have himself a bunt single. Well, 2-0, the Rays had moved Longoria more toward the shortstop and a few steps towards second base there. And Santana puts down a bunt.
I don't think the Rays will have a problem in a 2-0 count. Your number 3 hitter who's capable of going out of the yard doing that. I don't think they'll have a problem with a bunt right there. Well, here's Evan, 2-0 count. That's Evan, so of course he's got this whole area here. And Santana's going to take care of it, take advantage of it. And he just squared around like he's sacrificing to make sure he got the bunt down, knowing that the only chance was maybe Jeff Neiman. Jeff still got rid of the ball, but I don't consider that a great play for your 3-hitter. Kid that hit a double off the wall in the first inning.
Austin Kearns. Pitches a strike.
But we've seen him do it twice. We've seen him have 2 bunt singles in this game. It's not going to stop the Rays from shifting on him, though. Now, if he can steal second, it's not a bad play.
One and one.
When the hitters count like that, though, I think Manny Acta will go.
Yeah, drive.
Young man, it's fine. You beat the shift, but you know what? Take a shot and hit one out of the ballpark. That's why you're in that 3 spot.
Ball to the strike. The count to Kearns, the right fielder. Kearns lifts it up the right side. Foul ball. Zobrist headed in that direction, but it's out of play. So it's a 1-2 count.
Tell you what, Santana, they got a pretty big lead. I wouldn't forget about him over there. He got a pretty big lead that time, and he was still moving. If you're thinking about throwing a split here or a spike curveball, not a bad time to take off.
He's gone. The pitch is high, and he steals second base.
Yep. Yeah, you got to throw over there or even pitch out, because you could see it the pitch before, or at least I could. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. His first stolen base. He's looking in. See, he's looking in long time. He just did it off the pitch and off the release because they didn't think they were paying attention to him. That's smart kid.
Well, he's worked his way into scoring position. Upstairs. And the count goes full.
Well, that's why I say if he steals second, then it becomes a smarter play, the bunt. And he recognized that with the way that Jeff was throwing, that they weren't going to worry too much about him stealing, so he just decided to do it. I'm sure it was on his own. Smart play.
Foul ball, just a little piece of it in behind the plate. So we'll see another 3-2 pitch.
Maybe we see him leading off next time we see the Indians.
Yeah, really.
Well, you know what he shows, I think, is, just from the short time we've seen him, pretty good baseball instincts. Even defensively, I thought he had a pretty good feel for pitches to call.
And it's popped into shallow right. Fastball in, got him, and Zobrist makes the catch. Indians leave a man. Still 3-2 Cleveland. Take a look at the grade book again of Professor Kennedy here for the offense, and it's an average C.
Well, I think there's just been some inconsistencies in establishing the order, which has affected what Joe Madden has to do. That's why he's mixing and matching. He's trying to find that leadoff hitter. Jason Bartlett didn't get it done early in the year, and unfortunately Jason is in the 220s with his batting average. BJ's been doing it lately against lefties and Ben against righties, and that looks better, I think. And really, behind Evan Longoria, it's been an issue. Now, Carlos is swinging the bat better lately, no question about that. And that's going to be huge. If you can keep him in a 4 spot, not have to mix and match, you'd be better off. 9th in batting overall, 255, and even 20th in baseball. So bottom 3rd in actual hitting, even though the runs per game is good. And the record is good, obviously, in baseball overall. But I think this offense has more to be desired myself, because I think BJ has a lot left to show, and Jason Bartlett and even Carlos, and Ben hasn't hit for the same amount of power as last year, although he's done his job pretty well. 284 coming in, 5 home runs, 41 RBIs. But I think, you know, behind Evan Longoria, it's been an issue in the 4, 5, and 6 spot. It's been a constant mix and match. The DH situation hasn't worked out, so I think there's some room to grow. So for me, that's why overall I'd give it a C.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the run production and you look at the pitchers against, it has been not quite feast or famine, but tending
a little bit,
to be at least trending in that direction. Off speed, 2-2, and Zobrist pops it up foul. That's going to carry out a play, and I think that's the problem. And in fact, a lot of strikeouts. They lead the American League in strikeouts. They're over 670 in strikeouts, and it's from that point of view, Kevin, it's really interesting when you look at this team. For example, managers stress getting runners home from third with fewer than 2 outs. They've actually been above average in that department. Coming into this series with Cleveland, they're 5th in the American League, but a lot of that came earlier.
Yeah.
And a lot of their run scoring comes against what you might call mediocre type pitching.
Yeah, I think in 2, you look at how many comebacks the Rays have had in the 8th and 9th inning. I mean, those are dramatic wins, and that's tougher to do in the second half against better teams. You're going to face your division more in the second half here down the stretch. So you want to open up games when you have a chance to.
Nice at bat by Zobrist as he draws the walk. He saw I think 9 pitches in that at bat.
And the first inning today is a prime example of a chance to open up the game. Yesterday was the same thing. Now they won. Don't get me wrong, they won, but they had a chance to open up the game a couple of times against Laffey and Akeem later on with 2 out hits, which is great. But I just think there's room to grow, and I would hope the offense would think so too.
Carl Crawford takes the pitch down, 1-0. There was a lot of discussion, with the speculation about Cliff Lee and adding a starting pitcher, and I think they'd love to be able to do that. I also think they'd love to be able to add a right-handed bat to this lineup.
Well, look, if Pat Burrell was designated quite a while ago, you tried Hank Blaylock. That didn't really work out. Now you've got Matt Joyce, and Matt, unfortunately, is only hitting $162 coming in. He did hit the big grand slam, but you're looking for somebody to really step up that can drive the ball. And, DH in the American League is very important.
Oh, a shot off the bat at Crawford. That baby's going to get out of here. Home run for Carl Crawford. That's his 11th home run of the year, and it gives the Rays a 4-3 lead. Crawford tees off on a 1-1 pitch. Zobrist scores in front of him. 50 RBIs now for Crawford, and the Rays grab the lead.
Well, those are the 2 guys we talked about. Crawford and Longoria are the 2 mainstays in the 2 and 3 spot. That's why they're starting all-stars in the American League. There's a backdoor little fastball ride here. Carl just unloads again. And I'll tell you, he is launching some home runs here this week. They are some blasts. They're not just little, hey, get over the wall.
Well, just to give you an idea what Crawford's done on this homestand, coming into this game, his slugging percentage is now higher than Evan Longoria's.
It's amazing. 11 home runs. He's got 50 RBIs.
Now Longoria, there's a base hit into center field. A walk, a home run, and now a base hit for the Rays in the 5th. And Evan is 3 for 3 today.
Now, this is kind of what we're talking about, Dwayne, right here. Now is when you put the kill on. And Carlos, you've got Joyce behind him, and then Jaso. Now you don't let this guy off the hook. You put the hammer down with nobody out and try to knock him out of the game. Now, Carlos has been much better. We've seen that, no question. Carlos is 18 and 54. But beyond that is where the offense, I think, needs to step up. And it's more than capable. The pieces are here. The talent is here.
Carlos 0 for 2. Hit with a runner at first and nobody out.
It also takes pressure off the pitching staff. I think it's directly related sometimes to some of the starters trying to do too much.
Cut the miss by Pena. Strike one.
All you can worry about as a starting pitcher is do your job. Put zeros up there. But let me tell you, as you know, I mean, you've been around a long time too. It's easier said than done because the guys start thinking about it. You know, well, geez, got to throw a shutout sometimes to win.
There's a strike. Pena's down in the count now. 0-2. Carlos hit the home run to center field Friday night. Hit one to left center on Thursday. And down in the count, 2 strikes right now.
You look at the hits today. It's 5 of the 7 are Crawford and Longoria.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'll tell you what, Ben's really grown on me as a leadoff guy.
Yeah, me too.
I know we've talked about it a lot, and rightfully so.
And a cut and a miss. Pena is out on strikes. That'll be the first out here in the inning. Quick look at the upcoming schedule brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. Rays pick up play on the road against the Yankees in New York on the 16th. They're in over the weekend, then to Baltimore and Cleveland before they're home against Detroit. Just as we look forward to the upcoming schedule, you can live forward with Just for Men Hair Color. Now Matt Joyce. He swings through that one. I'll tell you, the second half, and that's just the beginning right there. The Rays, after today, will have 74 games left, and 39 of those will be against teams that are either in first or second place right now.
Yeah, it's going to be a grind, and it usually is.
High fly ball back toward the left field corner. Throw going back, and it's going to be off the bottom of the wall and bounce away from him. Longoria goes to third. It's a double for Joyce the other way, putting both men in scoring position.
Like to see that go the other way for Matt Joyce. Take a look at this pitch. That's a fastball up and away. See, that ball's off the outside corner. It's not even a strike, but that's what we were talking about earlier. See it? It's just off the outside corner, but it's up. So why not expand your zone a little bit if you can get to it and do exactly what Matt Joyce did? He got himself a double out of it. That might be the best pitch you get in the whole sequence to hit. Doesn't always have to be down the middle. Good job.
Left-hander Perez gets up in the bullpen for Manny Acta. John Jaso due up, and they're going to walk him. First base open, and with men at second and third, the intentional pass issued to Jaso, with Upton due up next.
I think there's no one hitter that could be more important in the second half than the man coming to the plate right now. He could be a difference maker. He did double to right center, and you mentioned it. He thinks that way. There's a lot of hits out there.
Yeah. When he hits the ball that way, that's generally a good sign. The bases are loaded for him with 1 out in the 5th inning. The Rays, with 2 runs on the 2-run home run by Crawford, have taken a 4-3 lead. And here's Upton, who doubled and scored in the 4th.
And this is where you have to put that knockout punch right here. That's exactly what we're talking about.
And he takes a pitch down and away. 1-0, and the pressure's on Masterson right now.
Absolutely.
From Upton's point of view. And ball 2.
That's a good take and a good call by Scott Berry, because he got a good look at that, the home plate umpire. And Masterson's kind of all over the place. You're not going to get that pitch normally.
Upton swings and lifts the fly ball to right. Kearns is in line to catch it. Longoria tags. He'll come to the plate, and the Rays get another run. That's going to make it 5-3. Longoria scores on Upton's fly ball. 31st RBI for Upton. Joyce tagged at second and advanced to third.
It's a good at bat. It's a productive at bat right there. BJ was trying to keep it off the ground and do exactly what he did. First, he would have preferred a nice double in the gap, but you take that. That's a good at bat. He got the job done. And like we said, go to right field.
So it's a 3-run inning and a 2-run lead for the Rays. Here's Reed Brignac. This next pitch from Masterson, his 100th of the game, and it's skied to center field. Brantley going back. He staggered a little bit chasing that one, but makes the catch. That retires the side. The Rays grab the lead. They got 2 runs on Crawford's homer. Added another run, and through 5 they lead 5-3. And a field. And the poll question today brought to you by Autoway. If you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? Autoway. Call 1-800-SHOP-AUTOWAY. How would you grade the Rays' first half performance? They're 53-34 right now. TB1A, TB2B, TB3C, and TB4D. That's our poll question of the day. Dan Wheeler will take over as Jeff Neiman is lifted after 5 innings and 70 pitches, and Wheeler's on for the 37th time.
Well, the bullpen we talked about in the open gets a nice grade, so Dan will start it right here. And the reason that Joe Madden's doing this, certainly Neiman could go another inning or 2. He's only got 70 pitches, but you've got all these off days, and the bullpen has been a huge strength for the Rays, and why not get him in there? And let's not tax Jeff Neiman. He's had a nice comeback after a rough first inning. So 5 solid innings overall, and the bullpen will take over now.
Matt Laporta leads it off, and the first pitch is a strike. Around the outside edge, a slider to start him. Neiman worked 5 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 runs, all of the runs in the first inning. He didn't walk anybody, struck out 4 and made 70 pitches.
And did a nice adjustment, too, after a 3-run first.
And that's a curveball in for a strike, 0-2.
You can only do this as a manager on the last Sunday before the All-Star break. That's it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right.
If there's another game tomorrow, Neiman be back out there for sure.
And it gives him an opportunity to save a few pitches.
Absolutely, save a few, and I mean that's the start of it right there. What Joe Maddon's talking about: pick his spots when he can, and why not? Because if Jeff gets in trouble here, they got the lead back for him. He's the pitcher of record. If he gets a man or two on, you're going to take him out anyway. So start the bullpen with nobody on clean. And you got the number 2 bullpen in the American League in the ERA, 3.28, and the number 1 save percentage in baseball. Closing 871 as a group.
1-2. It's down. Stand with a breaking ball, and the count is 2-2. Boston, Toronto. It's 3-2 Boston after 8. Aaron Hill hit a 2-run home run for the Blue Jays.
You know, the other part of it, the Rays have the extra day off. They don't play till next Friday, so it's actually good to get your key bullpen guys an inning of work too on the final day before the break.
And a high foul up the right side. That's going to be out of play. Fastball away on the 2-2 delivery. Marte next, and then Kroll. Porter doubled in a run on a fastball back in the first. And the breaking ball in the dirt this time.
Nice blocks by John Jaso. Anticipating a swing and a miss and a strike 3.
So the count full. Porter with good pop, as you know. And he goes after a fastball, fouling it back. Porter had a hit last night, 3 hits the night before. And he is 1 for 2 today. Retired in the third on that little fly ball to short center, and Rodriguez got out there from second base to make a nice catch on it. That was in the third. 3-2, and it's high and away. Wheeler walks Laporta. That's the first walk of the day issued by Rays pitching. And a good at bat by Laporta.
Yeah, Laporta looks so much more at ease now. His second time back up in the big leagues this year than when we saw him earlier. He just he knows it's his job and starting to come into his own a little bit as a hitter. Starting to mature.
Andy Marte to go for 2, hit the ball hard in the third on a line to Longoria, and he lines this base hit into left. The slider was up a little bit, and so the first 2 men are aboard here against Wheeler in the 6th. Walk and a single.
Crow's got some speed. Of course, he can bunt, and the Rays are going to have the corners in, I believe, and anticipate a possible bunt early in the count here. Let's see how Manny Acta plays it. Of course, you got the young catcher hitting 8, and then you got the 9 spot. So you may just let Trevor Crow swing the bat. I would, personally, but it doesn't really matter what I think anymore, I guess. Other than throw my opinions out there. But those are the things you think about as a manager if you're Manny Acta. Do I want to give up an out here in a 6, or hey, we got an inning going?
Crow 0 for 2 with a couple ground balls.
I just let him swing it.
First pitch is a fastball away. 1 ball, no strikes.
Tough man to double up too, hitting from the left side with his speed. He's got good speed. He's a base stealer.
And he's been good with men in scoring position this year, and a little over 50 at bats in that situation. Swings through the pitch. 1-1.
Well, that's all the information that you process when you're managing all the things that we just said, including what you just mentioned. He's hit well with men in scoring position, so he's I have confidence if I'm Maniac to him trying to drive a run in.
Yeah, he's 17 of 51. That's .333. 1-1 the count to him. And a little looper into center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. Upton makes the pickup. The run's going to score. Laporta crosses the plate. So the looping single to center just out of the reach in between Rodriguez and Upton. And it's a one-run game again.
That was a great read by Matt Laporta. I mean, this ball was hit off the ground. You talk about a low ball hitter. It's off his shoe tops. Look at that pitch. Talk about golfing it.
And he had that little spin on it as well.
He pitched it onto the green there. This is a bunt situation now with the catcher up.
Chris Jimenez up here. And he puts down the bunt. Wheeler will go to first, and Rodriguez missed the bag. He was late getting over there and looked for the bag with his foot, and now the bases are loaded with nobody out.
I tell you what, I don't know if Sean anticipated. See where Sean is? He's not anticipating a bunt. He's got to be playing over here. With the catcher up there, a young catcher that had no games this year. And he's too late. That's a mental mistake. That's a situational mental mistake right there, because he was playing up the middle. You got to know where you're at in the game and where you're at in the lineup.
So now it's Hernandez. He pops one foul up the left side. That ball is chased by Longoria, and he can't get there. Strike one. So a big spot for the Rays now in the 6th inning.
You know, if anybody else in the field recognized that, you gotta step off the mound when you see that. Somebody's got to help him on that too. I mean, Sean, that's his call. He made the mistake. He was too far up the middle. He just wasn't anticipating the bunt. He had to sprint about 80 feet.
Pitch in, sails in there, and it's a 1-1 count. It started on the good at bat by Laporta, who drew the walk. Marte hit a slider that was up a little bit, and then Crow golfed that base hit into center. Hit a ground ball to second. Out at second, and Brignac's throw to first in time, but the run scores. It's a 4-6-3 double play. Rodriguez, Brignac to Pena.
Well, that's a big comeback for Dan Wheeler to induce that double play ball right there, and that will bring Joe Maddon out of the bullpen. We're into the bullpen again with Randy Choate coming in to face Brantley.
So Brantley is due up. Call to the bullpen, brought to you by Metro PCS, wireless for all. And a tie game, 5-5 here in the 6th inning. For a limited time, take advantage of the Autoway buy 3 get 1 free tire special at all Autoway dealerships. Go to AutowayServiceCenters.com for locations to schedule your appointment. Randy Choate in the game now to face Brantley. Brantley, the left-handed hitter, with a man at third and 2 outs.
How about his appearances? 45 now with this one.
The pitch is down a bit. Ball, no strikes. There's a strike. Now 1-1. Laporta and Marte have scored. Throws the runner at third. The pitch is down. 2-1. The pitch hit a ground ball, backhanded by Rodriguez, and the throw to first in time. Brantley is out of there to retire the side. 2-run score. We go to the bottom half of the 6th, and the game is tied 5-5. This game tied 5-5 as we go to the bottom half of the 6th. Rays will have Rodriguez, Zobrist, and Crawford coming up. And they'll face the left-hander, Rafael Perez.
Yeah, got to come right back now after a miscue there in the top half of this inning. Rafael, this is his 37th appearance. Now that play by Jimenez was changed, but I believe it should be a sacrifice and an error at second base. Rodriguez was there. He just missed the back twice, and he was late covering. That's an error.
Yeah, they eventually ruled it just an error, then they changed it to just a hit. And in fact, it should be a sacrifice and an error.
Well, it was a sacrifice because the runners were going to advance either way, but it's not a base hit.
Rodriguez, and he takes the pitch. That's a strike on the outside edge.
I think Sean would tell you that too.
1 the count. He chases this one. 2 strikes. Well, the intent of that was a sacrifice, and the execution of it was a sacrifice.
That's right. That's why you definitely get a sacrifice out of it.
And then the Rays messed it up, and that's an error.
That's like a long fly ball, or with a runner in third, and the guy drops it. You get a sacrifice fly and RBI.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count to Rodriguez. The Rays had come back to grab a 5-3 lead, and the Indians have tied it. Rodriguez waves and misses, the ball popping away, and Jimenez down to first to complete the strikeout. Let's check in with Todd Callis.
Dwayne, we have an incredible group of people here in a large suite watching the Rays game. Bob Sila is with Operation Helping Hand. Tell us what kind of group we have today.
Operation Helping Hand is primarily to help the wounded, the injured, the active duty people who have come back from combat and are injured and being treated at Haley Hospital in Tampa. What we have here is about 15 to 20 in wheelchairs, some in walkers, that are able to make it, that are rabid Rays fans. And they wanted to come, and we're financing this whole day for them. It's just a great day for them and for us to do it. So happy.
Introduce us to the gentleman to your right.
This gentleman here has been with Operation Helping Hand. I remember when we first started in 2004. This is Petty Officer Pete Herrick. Pete was injured in Iraq, and I'll let him say a few words.
Pete, what does Operation Helping Hand mean to you?
Well, it means a lot that when you come back wounded and you get a lot of support from people, and it lifts your spirits tremendously. You know that so many people out there care.
Yeah, this is a great group, guys. I'm just honored to be around you guys. Thank you so much for all the sacrifices you gave for our freedoms. Thank you, Pete.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
This whole group, guys, I'm sure they're showing everybody here. This whole group is about as special a group as will be around. Thank you to Operation Helping Hand, and thank you to all the veterans who gave their time. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks for their service, and the veterans and their families are without a doubt the greatest people in the world.
It's awesome.
They're the greatest people walking around in this country today.
It's an honor to have them in the ballpark. I echo that.
One out here, the bottom of the 6th inning. 1-2 the count to Ben Zobrist.
Well, Perez is featuring a pretty good changeup. There it is. It's coming right now.
And it's wide. 2-2. Zobrist walked and scored in the 5th. And the count goes to 3-2 here in the 6th inning on Ben. And ball 4. The Rays have a base runner. Nice at bat by Zobrist.
You know, that's 50 walks for Ben now. Yep. Two more today.
Acting like a leadoff man.
Absolutely. Great at bat.
So Crawford, Carl with a home run. It's 2 for 3. Singleton scored in the 1st and a 2-run homer in the 5th. Low and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Joe Smith busy in the bullpen for Cleveland. Carl takes ball 2 outside, 2-0. Crawford hitting .323 right now.
69 runs scored. Wow.
Ball 3. So after walking Zobrist, Perez behind Crawford 3-0.
Yeah, Perez thought he had a strike there, a little bit down. He thought it was at the knees.
And the pitch is a strike with Zobrist on the move, and they throw it into center field. Ben steals his 18th base of the year.
I love that because 3-0, the defense not anticipating a steal, and you can go first move on a lefty and get a big jump. That's exactly what Ben did. He took a chance at it, and he got in there. Good time to go. He got down low, too, to avoid the glove as well.
So Zobrist now in scoring position with a 3-1 count to Crawford. Carl sends a fly ball into left. Back goes Crow. He'll make the catch.
No, they may just put Evan on now.
Longoria due up. He's 3 for 3, and Pena behind him, and you see Manny Acta right there in the dugout. So they'll walk Longoria.
He doesn't want to burn 2 more pitchers, because if he brings Smith in to face Longoria, then he's going to bring a lefty in to face Pena, Joyce, and Jason. So this is the right move.
So Evan will take the walk, head to first, setting up a 2-on, 2-out situation with Pena due up. Rays trying to regain the lead. Pena's on his way to the plate. Carlos 0 for 3 in this game, and 1 of 6 lifetime against Perez. Carlos looks at a first pitch strike. Lefties have hit .360 off Perez this year, 18 out of 50 with a home run.
Well, he's got a pretty good changeup, and usually lefties don't like throwing changeups to lefties, so especially late inning guys like this, it's pretty much going to be fastball slider.
And that's a ball. 1-1. Couple of walks, including the intentional pass. Putting men aboard, 2 outs. The 1-1 outside. 2 balls and a strike. So both starting pitchers out of this game insofar as wins or losses are concerned. Neiman worked 5, gave up 3 runs. Masterson worked 5, gave up 5 runs. Two-one. It's fouled straight back. 2-2.
Good swing right there by Carlos. Got a ball up and out over the plate that he liked. Yeah, that wasn't his base hit swing. That was his 3-run home run swing. Now he's got to protect.
Two balls, 2 strikes. 2 on, 2 out. Tie game, 6th inning. And he chases this one and is out on strikes. That had some bite down and away. The Rays leave 2. We're through 6, tied 5-5. Take advantage of all the summer fun with Summer Select 6-packs. They're getting 6 games in July or August with packs starting at just $50. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Grant Balfour, the new pitcher for the Rays, their 4th of the day, on for the 38th time.
Yeah, pretty solid first half for Grant. 38th appearance. A strikeout an inning, 227 batting average against. Low ERA, 2.21.
Jason Nix will be the first man he faces. Santana to follow, and then Kearns. Boston beat Toronto 3-2. Here the Rays are tied 5-5. And the first pitch is a strike. Nixon shortened as if to bunt. On the count. Nothing in 2.
Couple of curveballs there from Grant.
Good win for Toronto, or rather for Boston over Toronto. Their 51st win of the year for the Red Sox. And a wave and a miss. Nix chasing a high fastball.
Nice job by Grant. Good sequence. 2 curveballs down. 4-seam fastball up for the chase. Secondary pitches have really helped him this year.
Yeah, that's been a big addition. Because he actually got to a point where he was throwing too many fastballs, and you just can't do that in the big leagues. Well, he's counteracted that this year with that slider primarily and an occasional curveball.
Occasional curve, yeah.
That's made him very effective.
He's been breaking that curveball out here in the last couple of appearances more. About 80, 81 miles an hour.
Two and 0 the count now. Santana doubled and scored in the first, bunted his way on, swiped the base in the 5th inning, his first steal. That's a strike. 2-1.
Notice that Evan is a lot closer because Santana has bunted twice.
And a fly ball into center, and Upton is there to make the catch. Upton frozen for a moment. Those can be especially difficult for a center fielder.
Yeah, because you see the big swing, but it's tough to read on a line drive right at you how hard he hit it. Once he got a read on it, then he was able to close and make the play.
2 outs in the 7th. Stearns. Fastball up, 1 ball, no strikes. One. 2 balls and a strike. Matsuzaka got the win for Boston. Papelbon a save. Matsuzaka 6-3, and Papelbon registering save number 20. It's 3-1.
Pretty good effort right there. I think Grant was too happy. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's inside.
Foul ball back. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Nice curveball right there. Breaker got him. 2 strikeouts in the inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th. It's 5-5 tie. Baseball brought to you by AutoWay. If you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? AutoWay. Call 1-800-SHOP-AutoWay. By Checkers, Little Place, Big Taste. And by Dodge Ram Trucks, award-winning Ram trucks. Plus a new heavy-duty, make it one of the most powerful lineups in Ram history. Tie ball game as we head into the bottom half of the 7th. It's 5-5 here. Rays and the Cleveland Indians hooked up in the wrap-up game of this 4-game series. You can experience a Rays game from the all-inclusive Whitney Bank Club, offering extraordinary seating and luxurious lounge and dining areas. The Whitney Bank Club features an upscale full menu buffet and inclusive drink options. Call 888-FAN-RAYS or go to RaysBaseball.com. Bottom of the 7th coming up, and we'll check in with Todd Callis.
Just wanted to recap, Dwayne. We saw the veterans that were over there in that suite. We have BFW guys up on the upper deck, military people all around. And today wrapped up the Rays Wise Military Drive. I was in the room over there, not far from where that suite was. It's overwhelming how many people donated items to send overseas. So thanks to the Rays Wise for organizing it. And more thanks to the people of the Tampa Bay region for donating a lot of stuff that's going to go to a great cause, guys.
Yeah, the wives have been collecting that, and now they're packing it up and getting ready to ship it away. So it's and the response has been overwhelming, and they're certainly appreciative of all the Rays fans who have dropped items by for our men and women in uniform. Matt Joyce hits a little roller to first, and Laporta with a toss to Perez retires the Rays leadoff hitter here in the 7th inning. Joaquin Benoit is now up in the Rays bullpen in this tie game. John Jaso to bat. Jaso 0 for 2. He was intentionally walked in the 5th inning. One ball, no strikes. Rays wrapping up this homestand. Resuming play Friday in New York. In fact, the Rays, as we mentioned, they'll have 74 games left. 39 against the combination of the Yankees, the Tigers, the Twins, the Rangers, the Red Sox, and the Angels.
That's a pretty tough grind right there.
And of the 39, it would be 19 against the Yankees and the Red Sox.
Well, I think this, though, after the break, when you're playing well, like the Rays are right now, you'd rather be doing that, feeling good about yourself, going in with confidence than the way they played in June, going in to face the Yankees after the break. Plus, you can set the rotation, which Joe Madden has done, the way you want.
There's a strike, and it's 2-2. Ball knocked down by Perez. He retrieves it, and the flip to first is in time. So Perez has retired the first 2 here in the 7th inning. Upton is due, and Maniac, the Cleveland manager, comes out. So we're going to have a pitching change here as Perez will be lifted. He pitched an inning in 2/3, and we'll be back with Joe Smith, the right-hander. 7th inning at Tropicana Field. Inside the Rays coming up following our coverage here with the emphasis on the Rays rotation. A look inside the Rays starting rotation, and it has been intact the entire first half of this season. Same 5 guys and in the same order, the only staff to do that. Now Joe Smith, and he'll drop down. The pitch to Upton is fouled up the third base side. Strike 1. Upton going after that first fastball delivered by Smith. Same direction, 0-2. The 20th appearance for Smith. He worked here Friday night. And Upton is out on strikes to retire the side. We're through 7. On to the 8th. 5-5 tie. Been pretty good here for the Rays in the first half.
Yeah, it really has. You just saw Grant Balfour get through his inning, a couple of strikeouts, and now it's Joaquin Benoit who's just been lights out. Randy Choate got his man, and of course, if it's a safe situation, it'll be Soriano, who's been virtually perfect this year.
Well, there's a look at how the bullpen stacks up. ERA. Second in the league, first in opponent's average, and that strikeout to walk ratio has been impressive.
Very big right there, almost 3-1. That's huge at the end of the game when you're throwing strikes.
Here's Matt Laporta opening the 8th inning, and he waves and misses. Strike 1.
Look at these numbers: 38 strikeouts, 4 walks. 26 2/3, 106.
That strikeout to walk ratio is unbelievable.
It really is. Yeah, he's just a pound of his own.
A little wide. 1-1. Game has Been tied since the 6th. One ball, 2 strikes.
Laporta chasing a couple of pitches in this at bat. There's something he can turn on. He's not getting it.
It's 2-2. The other way and back out of play. Holds the count even. Twins beat the Tigers 6-3. Pavano won his 10. It's 10-6.
He's been great for them. He really likes it there too. That's why he re-signed there.
And now full count. So the Twins are 3 back of Detroit, running 3rd in the Central. Three and 2 the count on Matt Laporta. And he got him. Struck him out. 3-2 slider.
Now that's the intent of a slider, that late biting action. Looks like a fastball. A good hard action going away from your bat. A little tilt.
And how about that on Fox Track? That's the only pitch that was a strike.
Yeah.
That entire at bat that went 7 pitches and to a 3-2 count.
Yeah, he chased early. He looked at chased a fastball early. He chased a changeup in the dirt to get himself behind. He did work at full, but that last one was a beauty.
Andy Marte now. The pitch is down, and one of the things that makes such a difference, Laporta was up there from the very beginning, defensive on the fastball.
Yeah.
And that set the whole stage for that.
Well, you know, Joaquin has 3 really good pitches. That's the changeup Andy Marte just spit on right there. They know he's got a strikeout changeup, so really you've got to look for 93, 94, but you get caught in between sometimes. And then he drops a slider on you.
There's a strike. But he can throw that slider for a strike.
Like that, yeah, in a hitter's count.
2-1 now.
Good feel for it. Another slider. Bites the outside corner. 7-inch vertical break. A little bigger break than the last one that he struck Laporta out on.
High popper off a fastball. Rodriguez at second, handles it. 2 gone. 2 up, 2 down. The hitter will be Trevor Crowe. Mets shut out Atlanta 3-0, and so Atlanta will have a 4-game lead on the Mets at the break. Santana, the winner, he's 7-5. Good relief help from the bullpen. 3 New York pitchers on a 5-hit shutout. Now Crow. He sends a fly ball into left. Joyce will go back to the track. That ball is going to be off the wall or stuck on the wall. I think that's stuck on top of the wall.
Yeah, it is.
And a fan grabbed it. A fan reached over and grabbed it.
Yeah, that's a ground rule double.
So it's going to be 2 bases here. And Crow has himself a 2-base hit. Let's take a look at this.
Nice effort by Matt Joyce. Ball goes right above his glove and stuck in the padding between the fence, top of the fence, and the wall.
How about that? Stuck on top of the wall, and the fan reaches over and retrieves it. A 2-base hit for Crow.
That ball carried.
Well, Crow's the guy who got that base hit in the 6th inning on a pitch that we're still trying to figure out how he hit it. He hit it almost right off the ground.
I know he's got to be a good golfer.
Yeah. And then that 2-base hit almost carried out. Here's Jimenez. The pitch is a strike. Well, we'll see what they do with the scoring on Jimenez. He should have had a sacrifice and an error on the play back in the 6th. They eventually gave him a base hit on that, which was a little strange. His intent was a sacrifice, and he would have been out at first. This pitch is down, and the count is 1-1. Now he's up here in a key spot with Crow at second and 2 gone.
Yeah, now early, Jeff Neiman struck him out on twice. Got him on a split. Actually got him twice on splits.
And a foul back, a fastball takes the count to 1-2. So for the time being, that's 10 hits for Cleveland. Chris Perez up again in the Indians bullpen. Two balls, 2 strikes.
There's a slider right there.
First 2 men were retired before Crow lodged one on top of the fence in left field for a double. Jimenez waits for the 2-2. Runner takes off for third. Swing and a miss. Jimenez is out on strikes, and that retires the side. They leave a man at second. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still tied 5-5. Poll question today brought to you by AutoWay. If you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? AutoWay. Call 1-800-SHOP-AutoWay. How would you grade the Rays' first half performance? Would you give them an A, a B, a C, or a D? Text your vote to 789-789. Standard message and data rates apply. New pitcher is Chris Perez. And the Rays will have Reed Brignac to lead off against the Cleveland right-hander.
Pretty effective numbers there for Chris.
A big cut and a miss by Brignac, and he was thinking long ball on the first pitch.
He sure was. Big uppercut right there. Did have a nice RBI single in the fourth.
Bounce this one the other way, out of play. 0-2. Way. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Perez came into the game Friday night and had trouble throwing strikes. Did eventually get a strikeout, but that was after he had walked 3 men. And a ground ball. Backhanded stop. Throw to first by Nix. And boy, what a play by the Cleveland second baseman to deny Brignac a leadoff single.
Yeah, he got a good jump on that ball. Reed hit it well. Take a look. Backdoor little breaking ball. Nice diving play right there. Gets to his feet quickly and throws a strike over there.
Now it's Sean Rodriguez. Sean under it. A fastball and pops it into shallow center. Hernandez, the shortstop, makes the catch. 2 quick outs here as it turns out in the 8th. Send it back around to the top of the order. Ben Zobrist.
Well, Ben's due for a long one from the left side.
Yeah, he's been working the count well. He's been drawing walks. You know, he's had a dozen games now as the leadoff guy, and his on-base percentage as the leadoff hitter is .393.
Yeah, very good.
It takes the ball. One and one.
Fastball by Perez. 93 on the corner.
Two balls and a strike. Three and one.
You see, they're trying to stay away from Ben's power. Nothing inside, everything away.
And there's ball 4. He draws the walk. 3 consecutive walks drawn by Zobrist. Drawn 6 walks in the last 2 games. Ben Zobrist.
Number 13, Carl Crawford.
Here's Carl Crawford.
You got to worry about 2 things. Number 1, Carl Crawford's on fire with a 2-run home run and a single today. But also Ben Zobrist has been very accomplished at stealing bases this year.
And the first pitch is a strike. Carl Jumped on a 1-1 pitch in the 5th inning. Hit a 2-run home run, which is 11th homer of the year.
That wasn't in. That was out over the plate away. He turned on it.
He had a big cut right there and a good fastball to hit.
Boy, did he ever.
2 strikes the count. And it's down. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Perez bought himself some room to throw a slider or two, getting ahead 0-2. Boy, Crawford had a very good cut at the second pitch. There goes Zobrist, and the pitch is down. Stolen base for Ben. That's his second of the day. Gives him 19 for the year.
You know, it's interesting. They showed pitch out when Brignac was on. 1 and 2 count. They didn't even throw over there with Ben Zobrist at first base, who does steal bases. And that's the winning run out there, or go-ahead run at least. Could be the winning run.
I'm surprised they didn't pay any attention over there with Ben Zobrist.
A 2-2 count. And it's fouled into the seats down the third base side. Holds the count at 2-2.
Carl let that pitch get deep on him. He stayed alive.
And it's high. 3 balls, 2 strikes now. It's a full count. And ball 4, Crawford walks. The Zobrist walks, steals second, Crawford walks, and that'll get Longoria to the plate. Walked Longoria when he faced him Friday night. 3 hits and the intentional walk today for Evan. The pitch is high. Good to start him with a slider. 1-0. And a miss. The fastball. 1-1.
Big swing by Evan right here. This is 93. A little bit up. You can see his swing was underneath it.
And a pop foul. That's going to carry out a play. Back into the first base side. 1-2. And a foul. Not enough of that one to stay alive there. Right back into the screen and backed up a little bit.
Yeah, it sure did. 81. Open for one mistake.
1-2. And a popper right side. Foul ball to Porta near the stands. And he was unsure. And that ball winds up in the stands. Had a little start and a stop and a restart.
Yeah, if he had gotten to the stands, I think he had a shot at it. A little hesitation. I think he knows that.
So Evan is still alive. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 25-year-old right-hander, Chris Perez. Now the delivery, and ball 3. Full count. So the Rays will get to start the runners. Zobrist off second and Crawford off first.
Defense is taking away the single on Evan. They're playing shallow in the outfield, left to right. They're taking away the base hit because that's the winning runner. Go ahead, run at second.
3-2, and it's popped up. A foul straight back. That's going to reach the upper deck.
It's a good at bat by Evan. He's battling, taking some tough pitches, fighting off some high fastballs.
8 pitches so far. And a full count. Two again, and Longoria is out on strikes to retire the side, leaving 2 men on. We're at the end of 8, tied 5-5. We go to the 9th inning. Game tied 5-5. Rays trailed 3-0, 3-1, 3-2. Led 5-3, and now it's tied 5-5. It's been that way since the 6th. Rafael Soriano in from the Rays bullpen here to pitch in the 9th.
The All-Star closer, Rafael Soriano, 23 saves, 1.65 ERA. Put a 0 up there, keep the game right here.
And the first pitch. Anderson Hernandez pulls it foul out of play. Strike 1. Broken bat roller at first. That'll be handled by Pena. He's guarding the line and playing back at first and makes the play in routine fashion.
Center fielder, Michael Brantley.
Brantley will be the hitter. Brantley, a couple of ground ball outs, and in between a fly ball to left and one to center. Pitch is up, 1-0. Two balls, no strikes. Soriano into this game. For Tuesday in the Red Sox series and picked up his 23rd save. He's behind Brantley 3-0. Doesn't like that baseball after all.
No, he didn't.
Baseball had no strikes in it.
It all balls in it, yeah.
And he pops him up. Jaso away with the mask in foul territory, takes care of that. So 2 gone.
That's the key. Get the ball with strikes in it.
Yep. Gave that first one 3 shots and said, I'm done with you. 2 up, 2 down, and now Jason Nix. Nix hit by a pitch his first time up and scored. Since then, 2 ground ball outs and a strikeout. And a strike on the outer part of the plate. One and one. Fly ball right field. Zobrist is there waiting. He's got it. So it's 1-2-3 in the top of the ninth. The Rays will have Carlos Pena to lead it off. Need be Joyce and Jaso tied 5-5. Out of the bottom of the ninth inning. Take a look at the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moments in this series for Carlos Pena. Carlos with a couple home runs. He hit one on Jake Westbrook in the game Thursday night. Then a shot to left center. And then he hit one to center field in the ninth inning of the game Friday, connecting off Frank Herman. We'll be looking at the fifth pitcher of the day for Cleveland in the bottom of the ninth right now. Victor Alvarez enters the game.
Yeah, 19 games overall, 20th appearance, 608 with the earned run average. Opponent's batting average against 357. Fastball, curveball, slider.
Started the year on the DL with some elbow issues. And now here's Pena. Takes one away, a ball, no strikes. He's selected from the Arizona Diamondbacks in the Rule 5 draft. Ambrose. That's a strike. 1-1. Pena looking for his first hit of the day. 0 for 4. And the pitch is foul back. 1-2.
He took a shot at going to left center, too. That was a good swing. Fastball up and away.
Takes the count all the way out. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Hey, he cracked that breaking ball pretty well right there after 4 fastballs away.
Ambrose last worked 5 days ago when Texas got him for 4 runs on 6 hits, including a couple of home runs. 3-2. Carlos walks. The Rays have the leadoff man aboard in the bottom of the ninth inning. That's 8 walks given up by Cleveland pitching.
Number 20, Matt Joyce.
The Rays staff has given up 1 walk today, and that led to a run.
Waiting to see if Jason Bartlett might pinch run, but so far, nothing.
Joyce, the hitter. And he takes the pitch upstairs. Jimenez crossed to the mound and talked with Ambrose. Sonnenstein loosening in the Rays bullpen up the right field line. And that's called a strike on Joyce. Covered up Jimenez. It's 2-1. Mound conversation by the Indians.
I mean, I think he's just going to stay away from Matt. 2-1 count. Make a mistake trying to come in, the game could be over.
The 2-1. And that's away for ball 3. 3 balls and a strike.
That's really got to zone him out. Now they're going to stay away again here. They've shown that the whole sequence. You got to have that real small zone now if you're Matt Joyce. You're looking for a ball you can hit in the gap.
And ball 4. So back-to-back walks. You know, if you look at Ambrose and his numbers in the minor leagues, command, or at least walks, have not been an issue with him.
Right, yeah, oh, you're right.
Well, he's walked 2 here in the ninth.
Well, he saw 2 left-handed power pitchers back-to-back, and he was pitching so careful that he kept missing in the same location off the outside corner. It is a bunt situation with John Jaso. The defense set that way.
Jaso was intentionally walked in the 5th. Marte went on the edge of the turf at 3rd. Gorda in at 1st. And a line drive base hit into right field. Pena will have to stop at 3rd, and the bases are going to be loaded. Well, Jaso got to get the overpitch right there. The Rays were not bunting, and he lined it through the right side of the infield.
That's good managing by Joe Madden, because he gave Jaso a shot at getting a cookie down the middle, and he did, and he drills it. It's a bullet right there. Now, I don't think Jason Bartlett would have scored even if he had pinch run for Carlos Pena. That ball was hit so hard, and the outfield was playing shallow as it is. And now take a look at the outfield.
And now Bartlett will run.
There you go. Yeah, I thought maybe he would have ran when he got to second base in scoring position. I don't think Tom Foley would have sent him, though, either way, because there was nobody out.
Yeah, that ball was hit so hard. Yeah. Kearns got to it quickly in right field. But now Bartlett's running there at 3rd with the bases loaded. Nobody out. Upton will be the hitter. Everybody in now. The infield close and the outfield in.
DJ just got to get one of those balls in the air that he's done a couple of times today. Just like last time. Nice sac fly to right.
Well, he takes a pitch outside. 1 ball, no strike.
I think Joe Madden, too, when you size up that situation, the guy just walked 2 guys. Jaso has maybe the best eye on the club, at least so far he's shown that.
Sure.
And he says, you know, the first pitch they're expecting bunt, I'm going to give you a shot to try to win the game, and he almost did.
And there's a high fly ball, but not very deep to center. It's caught out by Brantley, and now Bartlett came down the line and put on the brakes, and that throw faded a bit, and Jimenez had a little trouble handling it. The bases are still loaded with 1 out.
Yeah, he would have scored, but it was really close. I mean, if he had hit the cutoff man, he would have been dead. Take a look. You're right, the ball tailed on as he let it go. And as it turned out, Jason would have been in there. And as I always say, you like that first guy to get the job done, because now Brainiac has to keep the ball off the ground. Got to get the ball in the air. Infield in.
Great single and a run in the 4th. Everybody still up close. And a late swing and a fastball. Strike 1. Henry's had a little something extra on that pitch.
Just got to shorten up.
Nice base hit stroke.
Rays have them all based up here in the bottom of the ninth inning, trying to win this game. It's 5-5. One out. Brendiak fouls it. Just a little piece of that one, and now it's 0-2. So this becomes a very big pitch and at bat here for the Rays. Embry's starting to think about the possibility of getting out of it. The Rays want to end it. Way high. Boy, almost overthrew that one. Well, he did. Almost overthrew the catcher in the process.
Trying to get Reed to chase up in the zone.
Yankees have an early lead in Seattle in the top of the third, 2-0. 1-2 the count here to Brendiak. It's down and in. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, the pressure now has just gone back to the pitcher. He just got to get short with his swing, because now the Ambrose has to throw a strike. He doesn't want to go 3-2. He's got to bring it in a little closer now.
2-2 pitch on its way, and a foul ball back. A fastball, and that continues to keep the pressure on Ambrose.
Yeah, and that was a nice shorter swing right there by Reed. Stay alive. See, Ambrose had to make sure he had a little bit more of the plate there.
The 2-2 pitch again. And he chases the fastball up and strikes out. Brendiak out number 2. Big strikeout for Embry.
That's just being over anxious and not recognizing your own zone there. See that uppercut? I mean, even that pitch is up. You still got to get on top of it.
Tim Belcher, the pitching coach, spending some time with his right-hander, Hector Ambrose. John Rodriguez, the hitter. 2 walks, a base hit, now 2 outs on a fly ball to short center, and a strikeout. Rodriguez looking for his first hit of the day. And a ground ball down to third. Marte steps on the bag, and the Rays leave the bases loaded. Well, a major threat, but the force play at third on the ground ball. We are through 9. We head into the 10th, tied 5-5. innings for the Rays. This will be their 8th extra inning game of the year. They're 5-2 in extra innings. The Indians are 3-2. Andy Sonnenstein will be the new pitcher for the Rays. Andy making his 28th appearance.
Yep, 4.26 with the earned run average. 251 batting average against. Going to have the heart of the order coming up here too.
Well, the Rays had Bartlett pinch run for Pena, so he's out of the game, and Zobrist comes in to play first base, and Sean Rodriguez is going to go out to play right field. So Bartlett will play short, and Brignac moves over to play second. So a significant shift in the Rays' defensive alignment as we go to the 10th, and Carlos Santana leads off against Andy Sonnenstein. He takes a big swing and a miss, strike one.
Well, you know what he was thinking. Enough of this extra inning stuff.
He fouls this one back, and he's thinking that again.
Yeah, like a cutter right there. Pretty good swing at.
0-2 the count. Upstairs, Andy's had a tough time in his career against this Cleveland ball club. As you know, he's from that area. Brings down and in. Andy gave up 3 runs in 2/3 of an inning and a home run in the game here Friday night. Johnny Peralta connected off him.
Johnny Peralta's on the bench still. He could come off at any time. He's got a bat in his hand right now.
And a bouncing ball foul. Holds the count at 2-2. It's time as Sonnenstein set to make his delivery, and Andy will step back off the mound. And the pitch drops low. Full count. Ball again up that first base side, rolling through the coaching box. One more time, and a foul ball. Utilizing the shift. Santana taking some big cuts up there.
Yeah, he's seeing a lot of cutters, a couple of curves. He's seen 6 cutters in this at bat.
And a high fly ball into right. Rodriguez is there, and he makes the catch. That's a very dangerous out right there.
Yep.
Put away.
Another cutter. He got in there just enough. Santana got underneath it.
Now the hitter will be Austin Kearns. He drove in a couple of runs back in the first with a base hit. 2 for 4 on the day. Low and outside, he takes the pitch. Pops it up, straight up on the infield. This is Longoria taking charge and making the catch. That was a high popper. 2 gone. Now, Matt Laporta will be the hitter. Quick cut and a miss right there. 2-1. Took a big cut. 2-2. Top of the 10th here. Ball, swing and a miss. He threw him a curveball and got him. 1, 2, 3. We go to the bottom of the 10th, and Ben Zobrist will lead it off for the Rays in a game tied at 5. For the 10th inning of the Rays will have the top of their order due up. Zobrist, Crawford, and Longoria needing a run to end this one. Then they'll face the right-hander, Kerry Wood.
Kerry's only been in 22 games. .595 with the earned run average. Still got plenty of velocity. Saw him the other night for an inning.
So he is pitcher number 6 for Cleveland. The Rays have utilized 7 pitchers. And here's Ben Zobrist. Ben with 3 straight walks in this game and a couple steals. He scored a run in the 5th, riding home on the Carl Crawford home run. And he hits a ground ball through the right side, just off the glove of Nix. Zobrist makes a turn and hangs on at first base. He had a little contact rounding the bag there with Laporta, the first baseman, and Joe Madden wants to argue that point.
Yeah, interference?
Yeah, absolutely, because Zobrist was thinking about second base and was slowed, and he was thinking he might wind up at second base when he was impeded by Laporta.
I think Ben was going to take off. I think he was going to go for 2. Take a look right here. Yeah, that could have been called interference. The runner has the right of way.
See, there's no question that he was thinking about 2.
Yeah, and he couldn't cut the corner like he wanted to, and just that little slight bump there, I think, was enough to keep Ben right there. Now, it would have been close if he had gone for 2, but the point is the runner has the right of way, and any contact like that, a lot of times you'll. After the base hit, he does. On a regular ground ball or something, the fielder has the right of way. Runner can't run a fielder over when he's attempting to make a play, but on something like that, first baseman's got to get out of the baseline there.
So Madden puts up his argument with Mike DeMuro. And it's going to be a base hit, and Zobrist is going to stay at first, but you can't blame Madden for trying to make that case.
I don't see a bunt here with Carl Crawford either. The hottest guy in the ball club right now.
Second and a home run in this game. Marte's up at 3rd. Way high and outside from Kerry Wood, 1-0.
Looking for Carl to find a nice gap shot somewhere.
And a liner up the right side, foul down toward the bullpen. It's 1-1. Rays had the bases loaded, nobody out in the 9th, and could not score. Now Zobrist is open to 10th with a base hit. Rays have 17 runs in this series. Ben has scored 4 times, Crawford 5 and Longoria 3, so that's 12 of the 17. Crawford fouls it, 1-2. The home run for Carl in the 5th inning was his 11th of the year, giving him 50 runs batted in. Behind 1-2. Carl lets it foul the other way. That's going to wind up out of play. Not a lot of at-bats for the Rays lineup against Kerry Wood. Crawford 0 for 2. Longoria, who's next, 0 for 1. Zobrist had only 1 at-bat against him before he opened this inning with a base hit. And the pitch drops low. curveball.
Yeah.
2-2.
Good recognition by Carl. Good bite on that breaking ball.
Rays have stranded 13 men today. 5 in the last 2 innings. Crawford fouls this one. Skips into the stands for a souvenir. Crowd of just under 25,000 here today. And they've been treated to extra innings. We're in the 10th. Two. Crawford chops it toward the middle. And a stop as Nix puts the tag on Zobrist. Crawford reaches on a fielder's choice. One out with speed at first.
Good job by Ben to drop on the ground and make Nix have to go down to get him, so he couldn't get 2.
Here's something to carry into the All-Star break with you. Today, Crawford and Longoria becoming the only players in the American League with this combination of production numbers: 50 runs scored, 50 runs batted in, 100 hits, 10 homers, and 10 steals. Only 2 of them in the American League.
2 and 3 all season long in the lineup. And outstanding.
Here's Longoria. Pitch is high. No ball, no strikes. Longoria with 3 hits today and a run scored. That's down and away. 3-0.
Of course, that's Bartlett on deck, too. Carlos Pena is out of the game. Jason pinch ran.
There goes Carl. The pitch is a strike, and now Crawford's safely in at second base with a stolen base.
I don't think you actually mind that strike call right there. Let Evan have a chance to win the game. So now they're going to walk him.
Yep, 3-1 to Longoria. Now with the steal, Longoria will be walked intentionally.
Well, Jason gets that line drive stroke back. He can win the game.
Number 8, Jason Bartlett.
Jason doing his first plate appearance. And you look at those numbers, and the bottom line is he's a better hitter than that 228 average.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He did have a couple of hits last night, including the RBI double up the right side and the base hit to center. And a turn, nothing doing on Crawford. Headed back to second.
Carl gets any chance at all, he may go. You know, George Hendricks talking to Evan Longoria. They're going to throw, I think, to second base if Carl goes.
And the pitch is fouled up the right side, an opening fastball, and that was in the mid-90s from Kerry Wood.
Yeah, he's got plenty. That fastball still. See, that's Evan. He wants to be sure what to do in case Carl goes. He's got to be aware that they probably will throw behind him to try to get Evan out. So he's either got to get a huge jump or just stay right there.
catcher. That was not his original position. He was an infielder and a converted catcher, and so the Rays keep that in mind as well. And he has had trouble corralling a couple of throws to the plate today, and the Rays have 3 steals.
Little slide ball right there, up. Jason pulling off of that right there. Too big a swing, and the pitch was a ball anyway. Got to get short with your swing.
He fouls it up the right side this time. And some action away from him.
A little shorter swing right there. While the ball was up, he's able to get to it.
Still a 2-strike count, bottom of the 10th. And a breaking ball that's wide. 2 strikes.
Carl bluffed on that one. He's trying to get a good jump.
Check of Crawford. Bartlett sends a fly ball into right center field. That ball's going to be in there, and the Rays win it. Crawford around third and on his way to the plate, and the Rays win it in 10. It's a 6-5 final. Jason Bartlett shoots it up the gap into right center field, chasing home Crawford with the winning run, and the Rays win their 54th game of the year. For the second time, they go 20 games over 500. They have to go 10 innings to do it today. And the Rays come up with their 6th win this year in their final at-bat. Jason Bartlett with the game-winning hit. And the Rays will finish this homestand 6-1 with a 6-5 victory in 10 innings. Sonnenstein will get the win courtesy of this hit off the bat of Jason Bartlett into the gap in right center field. That is our Jaguar performer of the game. Crawford making sure it was going to drop. And he scores easily. So the Rays are 6-5 winners to take this victory into the All-Star break. Right now, let's go to the field and Todd Callens.
Dwayne, thanks a lot, JB. Joe always talks about be ready, whether you're in the starting lineup or on the bench. I guess today you weren't sure if you're going to get in, and it paid off at the end, huh?
Yeah, I was in there to pinch run, and it didn't happen, so, I was hitting 4. I knew Carey was going to come at me. He's a pretty good pitcher, and he likes to have fastball, so I was ready to hit.
Joe's been changing the lineup a lot. You look pretty good in that 4th spot today.
I don't get used to it.
Hey, what about getting down 2 strikes? Your approach changed in that situation?
It does. I want to put it in play. 1 out, you don't want to hit into a double play, but you definitely want to put a ball in play and see what happens.
What about this team overall? 20 games over 500 going into the break. That's where you were after you were 32-12. But it's been a nice road back to that level.
It is. Everybody's picking each other up. We went through that bad stretch, and every team goes through it. We're right in there, and we're ready to start the second half.
I saw the bench react when Carl Crawford got in that rundown. He seems to do something that almost anybody in the league can't do. Another crazy play out of Carl today.
He amazes us every day. We're with him every day, but he does something that puts you in awe.
Today is going to be the wrap-up to the first half, if you will, going into the All-Star break. You have plans just to relax during the 4 days?
I got family in town. We're going to head to Orlando and have some fun.
JB, congratulations on the big hit today.
Thank you.
All right, Jason Bartlett, guys, with the game winner, and the Rays go into the All-Star break back 20 games over 500.
All right, Todd, thank you very much. 6-5 the final. Took 3 hours and 38 minutes to play it. And the Rays are victorious for the 54th time this year. They're 54 and 34 on the year going into the All-Star break. All-Star break will pick up play Friday when the Rays take on the Yankees in New York. We'll be with you at 7 o'clock on Sun Sports in high definition. For Kevin Kennedy, Todd Callis, and Brian Anderson, this is Dwayne Stats. Great to have you with us. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays Live, the postgame comes up next. We'll see you there.